What's up guys, and welcome back to my Pokemon Sun and Moon coverage video. And today, this evening, I'm going to be talking about the possibility that a set of leaks basically that we received a good few weeks ago may actually be confirmed as true now, thanks to sort of more reveals we've gotten that sort of support some of the information they gave us. Now obviously this is going to be a leak video, so if you want to see leaks, particularly possible designs for the final starter evolutions, please click off the video now. Spoiler alert, spoiler warning, leak warning, etc. But this is what the leak basically gave us. This was the main part of the leak, and the extra information came afterwards. You can see here the 3 designs of the final starter evolutions. Basically an owl archer, a cat wrestler fighter, and basically a siren seal or sea lion. Yes, again, possibly a firefighting type for the fire starter, which is why a lot of people said, now it's not going to happen again. These are the images we got. What other information, we're going to look at these later on. What other information was the leak sort of giving us that have been, there was a couple of things, tentative things that we had initially, but they were sort of, passed off. There was mention, I think, of a poison fire type just before Salandit got revealed. And then there's also mention that Rockruff had a possible werewolf evolution just before the information came out about Rockruff going away and possibly evolving into a wolf sort of Pokemon. So those were sort of 2 pieces that were very tentative, and people were like, oh, maybe. But it's really, they could be guessed, I suppose, a dog to a wolf. But now with all the new information we've had today, that it confirms a load of extra stuff. For example, we had, obviously, Ninetails reveal with his new form, and the sort of the information that was given to us with this leak was that there were new forms of old Pokemon which are not Mega Evolutions, but more along the lines of Shellos or Wormadam. So like getting different typings, which is what we got today. And they mentioned Ninetails being a Fire Fairy typing. Now of course Ninetails is an Ice Fairy typing and it's a lowland form, so possibly they got the Fire type wrong, or maybe it was a guess. It's a bit of tentative piece of information, but there were other things mentioned as well. One being that Yungoose's evolution is fat and hairy. I mean, I'd say that I can't remember his name now. Gumhoose, or whatever his name is pretty fat and hairy. It's hairy at least, so that's sort of a plus there. There was also mentioned that the stone bracelets have nothing to do with Synchro Evolution, which of course they don't have anything to do with Synchro Evolution because they're just to do with Z moves, as far as you know at least. And Synchro Evolution is not actually in the game, as far as you know again. And then also, probably one of the most sort of damning ones, I guess, is that there is a flying type bird whose appearance varies each island. And what did we get? Yes, we got Oricorio, the flying type Pokemon that its appearance changes per island, but also its type changes. Now of course that doesn't mean it's wrong, because its appearance does indeed change. But there was also mentioned that there are actually no gyms, which of course we know at the moment we can assume there are no gyms because we have the island challenges and the other stuff like that. So of course we can assume that's a plus there as well, because no gyms is a pretty big thing to throw out there. Oh yeah guys, there's no gyms in the next Pokemon game. People are not going to believe that. But apparently they're not, so we'll see, I suppose. So what other information is there that could likely be true, that I could see being true? Well, one of them is that Furfru's haircut can be changed in the new Pokemon Me. Now this seems like very likely to me actually, because we can see in the new Me, you can groom your Pokemon, and there could easily be a new option for Furfru just to be able to change its haircut in Pokemon Me, rather than having to put in a whole building or whatever in the game to do that in. I don't know, it just feels like to me that would be a change they would put in. There's also talk of other characters appearing. For example, Looker, Cynthia, Blue and Lance apparently make appearances in the games. Now these seem very likely to me. Looker has been in almost every Pokemon game, and it's been XY, Oras, even if it wasn't really much of a thing. Black 2, White 2. It's been in a lot of games, so it would be a good guess, I suppose, for him to turn up in Sun and Moon. Cynthia, Blue and Lance, obviously all champions in their own right, so it's possible for them to turn up. Cynthia has turned up in Unova before. Lance, he hasn't turned up outside of Johto or Kanto, I don't think, but it's very likely he could turn up, especially with all the new fun stuff going on in the Alola region. And there's also 2 other characters mentioned, which again seem very likely to me. Those characters are Zinnia and AZ. Zinnia's story, I don't want to say it was cut short at the end of Oras, because it wasn't really cut short, it has a finishing point, but everyone wants to see more of Zinnia, because she went off on this fantastical journey, so maybe we'll see Zinnia down the line. And of course, AZ, he did appear in Oras, even if it was a very small section of it. So it's possible he could keep turning up again, because I don't think, the Kalos story and the AZ story is not finished. There's more to talk, there's more to talk about, more to feature there. So it's possible to me that he'll turn up again. But what else does the league say that we can look forward and say, right, if we ever see something like this turn up, this league gains more and more traction? Well, again, along with the new forms of old Pokemon getting new forms, very similar to, as we saw, Vulpix and Ninetails, Sandshrew and Sandslash get taken out, we have some more. Another chunk of information suggests a few Pokemon that will get new forms include Butterfree being a bug psychic type, the Rattata line, hence Rattata and Raticate being a dark type line, Nidoqueen and Nidoking, so the final evolutions of those lines, being poison fighting in Alola. Ninetales as mentioned, Growlithe line becoming water type Pokemon. That seems really weird, I know, but whoever thought Vulpix and Ninetales would become ice type Pokemon. Then we have the Abra line, which apparently will become fighting type Pokemon. Now again, that seems really weird, but I could sort of see it. Abra, just make it stand up and give it some bulky limbs. Kadabra, it's got a spoon, get rid of that spoon, put a fork in its hand. Same with Alakazam, that's his name. Give it some forks rather than spoons or something like that, and it could easily become a fighting type if you just, obviously it's not something you would think would happen, but if you're changing the designs of the Pokemon, making them bulkier, it could well happen. And finally we have the Doduo line, hence Doduo Dotrio, becoming fighting flying types. Now, I could see that. They're normal flying at the moment, but they have nice big legs, bulk up those legs a bit. They could probably pack a punch with some double kicks and such. And that's sort of what was, given, Butterfree, Raticate, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Growlithe, Doduo, Alakazam, etc. That's that, at least for the moment. Then we have some more information. Now, initially the leak came out and said that Pokemon transfer from the Virtual Console releases will have pre-Gen 6 typings or stats. Now, when we saw this, it's like, why would they do that? Why would they, give a normal type Clefairy with a special stat? Why on earth would that make any sense? Well, PokeJungle today, after we had this video, came out and said, it seems like this is actually a thing. And then they've now said some brand new information which also appears to be true. We can see down here that the previous version of Pokemon which have taken on new forms would only be accessible by bringing in from older games. Now this seems very similar to me, like maybe they didn't mean Generation 1 as in Gen 1, maybe they meant Gen 1 to 6. Maybe the only way to actually find yourself a normal Vulpix or a normal Ninetales is to transfer it from Generation 6 via Pokemon Bank. It would make a lot of sense to have the Pokemon Bank still have some sort of feature, and obviously then doing this would be like, oh yeah, get a Pokemon Bank, guys, give us your money, transfer your special Pokemon across, sort of thing. So it seems like that's more likely to me, having to transfer, maybe, I can imagine whenever you evolve an Execute in the Alola region, you're going to get in a Alolan Executor. There's going to be no way to get a normal Executor, so you're going to have to transfer them across there. And it seems like we're getting stat changes as well for these forms, so it makes sense, pre-Gen 6, maybe not pre-Gen 6, pre-Gen 7 typings or stats. Who knows though, who knows. There was also mentioned that the SSN appears in the game. We have no indication of that yet, but we have loads of harbours and ports across the area, so the SSN turning up might be an interesting way to go about that. Then also mentioned was that Ash Greninja appears in the game, and again this was not confirmed but stated by PokeJungle today that the anime's Ash Greninja will appear in the game. Whether that will be a special event, that will be on its own. Again, we've seen separate forms. Maybe Greninja, the Alola Greninja, is going to be Ash Greninja. Seems a bit of a weird way to do it for me, but maybe they could just do an event with it. That would make a lot of sense there. Who knows though. Then we have two other things here. One being that time differs between the games. Time works differently in each version, is the way it's actually stated here. How did that make any sense? I don't know. One thing I did think about was like, oh yeah, sun is going to be normal time, and then moon is going to be like night during the day, and then swapped around. That would be really weird to me because it wouldn't make any sense. Maybe they have, a weird way. Maybe it's not like anything too great. Maybe just like there's more daytime in Pokemon Sun and there's more nighttime in Pokemon Moon. Who knows? And finally, there is a mention of a 2-stage cat Pokemon that is normal type when captured, but will inherit the father's primary type as its second type when hatched, and the colour or pattern varies by type. So you catch an all-type Pokemon in the wild, then you breed it with a Charmander, I don't know if Charmander can breed or whatever, and then you get a normal fire type, and obviously the colour or pattern varies by type, so it would just be like, it's like a Persian, but have some red markings on it. Seems like a really interesting concept to me, being able to get like normal fire, normal water, normal grass, anything like that, all on the same, all in one Pokemon, 2-stage, so maybe it will be, used in some competitive usage, who knows exactly, but yeah, it seems like an interesting idea to me. But then a few more things to mention are that there will be some Pokemon based on some different animals. For example, we have a dolphin, a Seakuma, a mushroom, a monkey, particularly a rugby monkey, don't know what that is, and also a snowman. The snowman is quoted to be a ice ghost type in its 2nd stage, so who knows exactly what that's about. There's also mentioned that Furfrou gets new styles alongside its current styles that you can do in Pokemon Me. Who knows about that though? So yes, watch out for any Pokemon based on these guys, because that would indicate again that these leaks are true. But we are then going to go back to the starter evolutions, first before we finish the video, and talk a bit about them. There is also mention on PokeJungle today, but not to get hopes up, but there may be 2 final evolutions for each starter, so we might only actually be seeing half of them here. Again, I don't know exactly how true that would be, because it would be a really weird way to go about it, but we have Alolan forms, we have crazy stuff going on in the Sun and Moon, so I'm not going to doubt it. I'm not going to doubt it at all. But we are going to, if you have any doubt that these leaks might be fake still, let's zoom in on the Litten final evolution. Have a look at it. You see anything there? Let's pull out that black and white graphic from the bottom of the screen and look at the girl sat down. Does that look like anyone to you? Yes. To me, it looks like this lady, or this young girl, or this, whatever she might want to be referred to as, who is one of the leaders of one of the islands, basically one of the island challenges. One of the trial captains. Her name actually is Captain Mallow, and she's an expert grass type. But you can see here her design looks really, really similar. The flower in the hair, little hair fringe coming down at the front, the hair going off the back, and even her outfit looks similar. So these images came out weeks, maybe even a couple months ago. I can't, myself, I can't dismiss them as fake anymore, because originally I saw them and I was like, they're probably fake. It's ages ago. I can't dismiss them as fake anymore though, because just look at them, like it's exactly the same design. Plus, people on Twitter have been getting blocked by the Nintendo, or not Nintendo, but Junichi Masuda, I think it was. He's been blocking people who tweet him these images. I don't know. It just seems like they actually could be real. I don't know at the moment now. But that is going to be it for me for today, guys. Let me know down below what you think of this leak. Do you think this leak is going to be real now? We have some sort of ties and links to actual stuff that's been announced and in this new art with the concept art there. Let me know what you think about this down below, guys, and let me know if you're excited for it to be real. Of course, a firefighting starter, not my cup of tea, but I guess we'll see. Possibly 2 final evolutions. That would be pretty cool. Let me know what you think down below, guys, in the comment section. But for now, this is going to be it for me for today. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.